morning everyone, it is Cornell from Blooming Bakes. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share my family secret chocolate cake recipe. It's a recipe that I've grown up with as a child. It's honestly the best cake ever. When I've started my own baking business, I couldn't understand why other bakers are complaining about chocolate cake being dry or crumbly, because honestly this cake is everything but that. It's moist, it's full of flavour, fudgy. It is honestly the most amazing cake ever. So I'm going to share the secret with you today. Remember to give me a thumbs up if you like this recipe and subscribe to my channel to see more recipes and cake decorating tutorials in the future. So let's get started. We are separating 6 large eggs and we're going to start with just whisking our egg whites to form stiff peaks, and we're going to put that separate until the end. So I've got already my 6 eggs separated. My egg whites are in my mixer and I'm going to pop this in my stand mixer and whisk it on a high speed until it's nice and stiff. You know, the typical test where you do the bowl over your head? That's how it should be, nice stiff peaks. Okay, so you can see it's now basically a meringue and your egg whites are nice and stiff. I'll do the test, here we go. Woo! Right, this is how you want it. So let's just get all of the egg whites out of my whisk. You can see I'm using my whisk attachment, which is what you need to whisk your egg whites into nice stiff peaks. So I'm just going to pop it into a separate bowl. And we're going to add it to our cake batter right at the end. And the whole purpose of your egg whites right at the end is to add air to your sponge, your batter, and it's going to make a really nice, light and airy chocolate sponge. Okay, so just put that one to one side. Okay, so next up we're going to use our 6 egg yolks. Put that straight into your bowl. It's not necessary to wash or wipe your bowl out after the egg whites, because the egg whites at the end of the day is part of your recipe in any case, so no need to wipe your bowl out. 6 egg yolks, and we're going to add to that 500 ml of granulated sugar. It's equal to about 2 cups. Pop that into your stand mixer again, and we're going to whisk on a high speed to cream the egg yolks and the sugar together until it's nice and pale in color. Okay, so you can see as it's dripping down, it's now a nice pale yellow color, and the sugar and the egg yolks are creamy and lovely. So to this we're going to add 1 cup or 250 ml of sunflower oil. That's the oil I'm using. Definitely don't use olive oil, but you can use a different type of plant oil if you want. So 250 ml of sunflower oil. Don't be tempted to replace the oil with butter, because the cake won't be the same. The oil is part of the secret ingredients that makes your chocolate cake really moist. So don't replace the oil. Okay, so you don't have to whisk for too long, and make sure you do it on a slow or medium speed when you add liquid, otherwise it goes everywhere. Remember to give your bowl a bit of a scrape down the sides every once in a while to make sure everything is incorporated and nothing is stuck at the bottom of your bowl. Okay, to this we're going to add 250 ml or about 1 cup of warm boiled water. Not boiling hot, otherwise you're going to cook your egg. So just warm boiled water is going to go in with this. And the main reason for the warm temperature is to make sure we dissolve our sugar a little bit so you don't have crystals in your batter. We're going to mix this on slow speed just to incorporate the water. Right, okay. So at this stage we've got a lovely yellow eggy mixture, and that's all the liquid we're going to use for this recipe. So I'm going to take my bowl out, just pop something else there for the droplets to fall on. So we're now going to add our dry ingredients. So I like to sift my flour for big cakes. For cupcakes I don't really bother, but for big cakes, anything you do extra like sifting your flour is just going to make sure that you have a really fine, delicate texture in your cake layers at the end of the day. So I like to sift it. So we're going to start with 500 ml or 2 cups of plain flour. To this, we're going to add 6 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Now, because we're using plain flour, you need a rising agent, so we're going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And we're going to sift this into the mixture, all in one go. Now, what a lot of people make as a mistake is when you have a few crumbs left at the bottom of your sift, people take a spoon and push it through. But the whole point is to keep like really hard pieces of flour or something out of your batter. So don't be tempted to squeeze it through, otherwise you undo all your hard work. So leave it like that. Just a pinch of salt. And we're going to add 1 teaspoon of a good quality vanilla bean extract. Okay, so we're going to give this a mix. Start slow, and you can increase the speed a little bit. And then about halfway through, just do a scrape down the sides and give it another little mix. All in all, you're probably only going to mix for a minute, maybe 2 minutes at most. Right, so our batter is ready, and all that's left to do now is to add our stiff egg whites, to add some air, and then we're going to pop it in the oven. Okay, now I like to do the next bit by hand. So we're going to add all of our egg whites into this bowl, and we're going to mix this in by hand. Gently scrape down the side and lift and fold it over. So we're just folding in the egg whites very gently. You don't want to whisk the mixture at this point, and you don't really want to stir like crazy, because otherwise you're knocking out all the air bubbles in your egg whites, which is what is going to give your sponge a really nice and light texture. So don't be too heavy-handed with your egg whites. Okay, so our batter is ready. And we're now going to pop it into cake tins and it's ready for the oven. So this recipe will give you 3 layers in 8-inch cake tins. You can theoretically make it in 2 tins as well. I have done it in the past. If you do 2 8-inch tins, you will have nice and thick layers. But it's actually a perfect amount for 3 layers in 8-inch tins. Okay, so I'm literally going to pour it in. And I'm just estimating by eye to divide it in 3. If you want, you can weigh your batter and make sure you divide it equally by 3. It's lightly greased cake tins that I've used, and at the bottom I just like always to put a circle of non-stick baking parchment just to help to get the cakes out of the tin at the end of the bake. So we're going to pop it in the oven. I use 150 degrees Celsius with a fan setting on my oven, and with 3 layers it's going to bake for about 30 to 35 minutes. The way you know it's ready is if the middle doesn't wobble anymore, it's starting to pull away from the sides just a little bit, and then you can put a skewer in the middle or a cake testing pin, and if it comes out clean, it is ready. If you only do 2 tins, it will bake for longer, so it will be about 45 minutes at the same temperature. Let's put this in the oven, we'll see how it comes out. Wonderful, our cakes are ready. They baked at the end of the day for 37 minutes. They were not quite ready yet at 35, so you have to make sure you double check your cake before just taking it out of the oven. And then let it rest for 5 minutes in the tins before you turn it out onto cooling racks. If you turn your cake out straight away, it will stick to the cooling rack, so make sure you leave it for 5 minutes. So let's turn these out and see what it looks like. And the next one. And the third one. And now you can literally just pull off the little circle of parchment paper. It was at the bottom. And we've got these gorgeous sponges, perfect rise, very light, moist and full of chocolate flavour. I will pop the recipe for chocolate buttercream below this video as well. It's basically just a standard vanilla American buttercream recipe, but you just replace a bit of your icing sugar with cocoa powder to make it a chocolate flavour, and it's really lovely as well. And wait until your cakes are completely cool, and then you can decorate however you want it. So either with buttercream, or you can also fill with buttercream and cover with ganache, however you would like to do it. So I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. Please do remember to use the hashtag #BloomingBakes by Cornell if you've used this recipe, and remember to subscribe to this channel for more cake related topics in the future. Enjoy!